science, and its application, technology, are the tools that humanity has at its disposal to do just this. Technologies that generate power, such as thermal, solar, wind, tidal wave, and others will be explored. Wireless technologies have revolutionized the way we work, communicate, compute, socialize, and even have fun. This TV program will give you an insider's view on how it all works.
The key to a prosperous Gambia is in the hands of the young generation. Comprising over 60% of the Gambia's population, young people form a major component of the Gambia's human capital. If effectively utilized through gainful employment, young people could be dynamic drivers of poverty reduction in this country. Through a package of priority areas that create and promote gainful employment opportunities and income-generating activities, the government of the Gambia, with support from the ILO and the UNDP, in 2007 launched the Gambia Priority Employment Program, known otherwise as GAMJobs.
GAMJobs came into existence following government's realization or recognition of an acute problem of unemployment that was facing young people of the Gambia at the time. And of course, this was motivating them to take rash decisions to travel to Spain, especially, and to other parts of Europe on board rickety boats in the high seas in search of greener pastures. Many of them were dying, and government came to realize that it had to put a stop to that. And in an attempt to curb the outflow of young lives perishing in the high seas, government, in collaboration with the UNDP, the government of the Kingdom of Spain, and of course with technical support from the ILO, came up with GAMJobs, which is known as the Gambia Priority Employment Program.
This project specifically should address the issues of the illegal migration in one way, and to a larger extent extend it to others that are not even thinking of migrating.
Well, in fact, we are assisting the Gambia because, geographically speaking, we are neighbors. All the west coast of Africa is very close to our Canary Islands, so we are really interested in having good relationship with all the countries in the area. It is also important to note that if we want to promote peace, stability, democracy, we also need to promote development. And that's the reason why we have started a cooperation program in this country. We are just starting because our cooperation programs in this country started just 2-3 years ago. In this moment, we have already created quite an important technical school. We are also working in a hotel school for developing the capacity, for the touristic capacities of this country. And we are also investing about 2.5 million in the GAMJobs program.
Once this project began, UNDP also tried to match Spanish funds with its own regional funding and to make available its own knowledge network, its good offices and its contacts to make sure that there's a sustained support. But it's more than that. It's also the continued hope that the political will continues to be there, that the ownership is there, that government takes it over.
We work very closely with the Ministry of Youth and Women's Affairs because they have their own programs. So these interventions are also derived from the priorities that they have already, as a subsector, determined as priority areas of intervention, but lack funding for various reasons.
When we signed the Memorandum of Understanding with our particular partner, we do indicate what we expect to see at the end of the project. And for instance, let's say one of them would be to ensure that in creating employment opportunities, or before or in the process of creating employment opportunities, we have trained a particular group of men that would work in that area once they graduate. So obviously the training aspect is one issue which we monitor, and of course setting them up once they finish, putting them up into a business or where they form their own business and we give them the funding to operationalize that business. We want to see that that business is thriving through the amount, by the amount of the young people that it employs or who are running the project, and of course how the revenue they gain or the proceeds they get from that project goes back to the project, but also is plowed back into the community to service that community and help them develop.
Usually we do start by receiving proposals, from partner institutions. We are yet to start receiving proposals from individuals or groups directly. Therefore, we refer them to key partners like the Women's Bureau, NEDI, NYSS, and the like. And upon receiving these proposals, it is then reviewed at our end here at the Program Management Unit together with the coordinator. And thereafter, we do, give a summary of those proposals we deem to be, relevant, worth actually looking into, and then prepare, a schedule for the Program Steering Committee. That's the board, and that's where these ones are made actually. These proposals are then tabled at the PSC, and some are approved, some are not.
So these are the things that we mainly look for. It has to target the women or the youth. It has to be for employment creation. And one key thing that we also look for is sustainability. We don't want to create the employment today, tomorrow you are gone with or without GAM jobs. What we want is once we start you up to gain employment, we want you to continue so that it is sustained. So we look at all these things within the project to identify that before approval is given for any project.
First of all, we went on a study tour in the sub-region to learn best practices from our colleagues in the sub-region in labor-intensive technologies and also waste management technologies. In this regard, we went with our partners on a study tour to Benin and also to Burkina Faso. That was followed by working with the National Youth Council Service Scheme in the recruitment of some youths who will participate in these two components. 60 youths were recruited for this first phase of the project with the help of the National Youth Service Schemes, and those youths were consist of 55 young men and 5 young women, and they were trained. A group was trained on the waste management component, and another group was trained on the labor-intensive technologies.
There were 4 components: the IT department, the electrical installation, the construction, and also 2 classroom blocks. So for